So this is what we can do. We can transform these spaces into something that is more inviting and more allows the student to be able to learn a little bit more than what they are currently. Okay, so the results of all the assessments that we did throughout that basically ended up, if we take the existing building, we try to repair everything, bring in new mechanical systems, replace all the bad asbestos floor tile, do all of the repair, and then also to try to improve some of the spaces for the students so that they have a little bit more breathing room within it. I have 600 square feet with 28 students in it. We end up in about $21 million as far as the price goes. It was just a line item by line item. That's how it worked. We don't do the construction, we don't do the building, we don't care how much it costs. It could be $5,000. It ended up being $21 million to do the repair. A lot of work has not been done in this district, I've imagined, because they just don't have the funding for it. So this is what we discovered when we went through the assessment report. It will take about 3 to 5 years if you had the funding. It would take 3 to 5 years to try to work that through because, again, we're working with the existing building and the students still have to be taught, right? So we have to do it in phases. We have to do it in the summer, and we only have 3 months within the summer to do that work. So it's going to take a longer period of time to try to correct the facility. So with that amount of money, that's a lot of money. And so the district decided, well, what would it cost if we try to revamp the building into a new addition that would actually fit within the curriculum and the teaching methodologies that the teachers would want to teach, and it would fit more into the environment. How much would that cost us? So we took a look at it, doing a major addition to the school, and found out that that price was going to be about $25 million. That also, with that, and I'll show you in the next slides, is that we were able to do that within about a year of construction to make that transition. All along while the students are still being taught, so they will not be disturbed, the school year would not be disturbed. And that's basically how we ended up with where we are today as far as why doing the new addition at $25 million. That is the answer. They went through that entire process, that's what they came up with. With the new addition, you'll be getting, keeping the existing gym and the administration building that you have here that was done in 2001, that will remain. Everything else will be demolished. Well, we'll be able to, as I mentioned before, we'll be able to create spaces that will accommodate today's teaching standards, teaching methods, and even into the future, along with the technology, create a new protective sites that the students can feel more protected in, and also help with the parking, and definitely help with the student drop-off and pickup. Here's the site, proposed site that we're talking about. Existing buildings in this area, new buildings here. Students will be occupying and going to school. We'll be building this. Once this is built, we'll move the students over here, demolish that, finish that up, and we'll be good to go. As you can see, parent drop-off will be all the way through, so we'll get a lot of all this traffic off that street, off Foster, and bring it onto the site. Bus drop-off would be right through here, so the cross-traffic of students will be coming through here. Bus drop-off will be here, so you don't have any traffic crossing over pedestrian traffic. So, beautiful solution to, and at least you do have the property to be able to have a solution to solve those issues that are very critical for safety of the kids. Also, we'll be able to create a large buffer between Cumberland Avenue to where all the student activity is. So another big bonus for this site design. It gives you a little bit of a massing model of what the schools look like. We haven't moved too far into the design of it. The district didn't want to be too presumptive about where the decision might be. Spent a lot of money to do that. So we are able to show you, though, a little bit of the massing model, what the facility could look like. It will be a multi-story building. Just because we want to save a lot of, create that buffer so that they will be stacked as far as the floors go. But again, it kind of gives you a general idea of what that massing will look like. And with that, I'll finish. Thank you, everybody.
Our next presentation will be from Tammy Beckworth-Schmalmo. I'm sorry, Tammy. I always have a hard time with your name. Tammy is our financial advisor for PMA. She'll tell you a little bit about herself and have a short presentation.
I was going to say it happens all the time, so don't worry about it. No problem. Well, thank you for letting me take a few minutes of your time tonight. As Dr. Kopta said, it's my job to talk to you about what all this will cost homeowners within the district. So if we go to the next slide, what you'll have a chance to see here is a peek at what's been going on in the municipal bond market. And the school district would have the authority, per the rules of the IRS, to sell tax-exempt bonds, which means they are lower interest rates than if they were taxable bonds. And this is looking at an index that we use in our industry every single day. It's going back about 10 years. And so we're, of course, over on the right-hand side of the page. And the different colored lines just represent different points on a maturity schedule. So, for example, that red line at the top is a 20-year bond. The yellow one in the middle is a 10-year bond. And bonds are structured so that there are different maturities in every single year. And the school district's bond issue, if the referendum is successful, would have a 20-year maturity schedule. The main takeaway here is if I even took this back another 15, 20, 25 years, what you would see is from an historical perspective, it's a very positive interest rate market. Rates are not at the very lowest point they've been over the last several decades, but they're pretty darn close, and the market tone is very, very strong. So that bodes well in terms of the referendum if voters approve it, the district accessing the bond market and getting them sold, locking in interest rates in a strong interest rate market. In terms of how the debt will be structured, again, they'd be paid back over 20 years with level payments, and I think that's an important thing to understand. It's kind of analogous to your mortgage on your home, where you have the same monthly payment that you pay for your mortgage. For a school district, it's the same annual payment. That's how they operate that. So again, 20 years, same level payment of about $1.96 million per year. I will also mention that that estimated payment takes current interest rates and adds some cushion into it, knowing that the interest rate market could be slightly different by the time the referendum bonds would be sold if it is successful. So in terms of impact on tax rates, so all of you see your property tax bill every year and you see a tax rate on there. And one of the portions of the tax rate is dedicated to what they call bond and interest, or the portion that you're paying in your tax bill so that the school district can pay its principal and interest payments on bonds every year. So that portion of the tax rate would go up by about $1.36. Okay? And that's expressed, by the way, per $100 of assessed value. So what does that really mean? And how can I find out how this will impact my tax bill? Well, some of you may have already seen, and Dr. Kopta referenced this a little bit earlier, that on the financial impact tab in the referendum information section on the district's website, you can go on to the website itself, and I think we're going to pull up the website here so you can take a peek at what this is. I pulled it up on my phone during the building tours just to check it out and see how it's working even as a mobile app, and it works perfectly. So what you can do is go in. If we go on the tab, bad spot for me to stand, but yeah, scrolling down there, you can actually enter in, if you have your property tax bill, take that, and you'll see on there the estimated value of your home, which you would enter, if you can go back up a little bit, please. Thank you. You put it into this box. And then some of you are probably aware that you're eligible for different exemptions in terms of the taxes you pay against your property value. There's a standard homeowner's exemption that's worth $10,000 in the tax bill that you are going to pay in 2018. Pretty much everybody gets that standard $10,000 exemption. But then there's other exemptions for disabled persons, veterans, and senior citizens that, again, looking at your own tax bill, you'll be able to determine pretty quickly which exemptions you get. So if you, depending on how you fill out the box for what the value of your house is, and whether you click these different boxes, it calculates into the formula down here. And if you scroll down a little bit more, it ultimately will tell you what is the net equalized value of your home, and then what is the estimated impact on your tax bill as a result of the referendum. So it's really user-friendly. I encourage you can do it again on your phone or at home. But if you're having trouble with it, I'm sure you could also call the district office and they'll help walk you through it. Okay, thank you very much. All
right, we're going to do some question and answer now. If you have any others, if If you haven't handed them in, Mrs. Sierra, Ms. Radsky will be walking around collecting them. Or again, if you have questions when you get home, there's a Q&A tab on our website. So I'll start with the first one, and then I'm going to have Dr. Kleisner, our area superintendent, come up for the second one. The first one is rumors our bus will be eliminated to offset the cost of the referendum doesn't pass, and changes need to be made. So there, as you saw, there's some immediate work that needs to be done. It's a large number. You can look on our website. It's very rich in data. We are in a good financial status. However, we do not have the money to pay for these necessary repairs. So some of the things we would need to do is start looking at where we can make budget cuts. The board does have a finance committee meeting that has met, and then the board also discussed at the last board meeting in February about looking at the possibility of charging full price for the bus. Currently, the district does pay $100,000 towards the price of the bus in addition to what you pay, the $300 per student. To offset that so that we're cost neutral, it would be $1,000 per student. And that is an action item the board will be taking at the March 14th board meeting so that we could notify parents should the referendum not pass on March 20th. We'd be able to notify parents right away to let them know that the bus fee for next year would be $1,000 per student. So that is true.